Okay, on this problem, on this problem, you're supposed to evaluate or set up the integral for the area of the surface generated by revolving this curve x equals from 0 to y cosine t dt from 0 to pi over 4 about the y-axis. So this is kind of weird, but that's actually your function x. And you should remember that you have to find dx dt. The derivative of an integral, the fundamental theorem of calculus, is that the derivative and the integral undo each other, so the derivative is just going to be cosine y. So when you plug it into your formula, you're just going to integrate from 0 to pi over 4 2 pi, the x, which is defined as that curve 0 to y cosine t dt, and then the square root of 1 plus the derivative of x, which is just cosine y squared. All right, now to graph this curve, think about what the antiderivative of this is. The antiderivative of this would be the sine of y. So x equals the sine of y. But you're going along the y-axis from 0 to pi over 4. So that's clearly just going to be this shape. If you were on the x-axis from 0 to pi over 4, it would be this way. But on the y-axis, you could plot some points to kind of get a sense for what that would be. But if you know that this integral is going to be the sine of y, x equals the sine of y, then just, put 0 in for y, so that would be 0, and then if you put pi over 4 in for y, you do get the sine of pi over 4 is the square root of 2 over 2, which is about 0.707, so you should be able to argue to yourself that that graph is B. And then to actually get the surface area, you're going to need to use a computer program to make that work. I just went to Wolfram Alpha and plugged in the formula. Let's see if I can get this to look. And this is what I typed in. I said integrate, and then 2 times pi times sine x times, and the reason I did sine x is because the derivative of this x cosine y is sine x. So I'm just typing in the formula, but I didn't do the integral twice. So I did, because right here on your formula, when you're looking at A, your formula, you can actually simplify this integral from 0 to y of cosine t dt. That's just the sine of y, because if you integrate the cosine, you get the sine, and then evaluate it from 0 to y, it's just going to be sine y minus sine 0, which is just sine y. Okay, so back at the Wolfram Alpha website, I just typed in integrate 2 times pi times sine x, I just did x, and then times the square root of 1 plus cosine x squared, and then you just type from 0 to pi over 4, and it's like magic. It just does the calculation for you. So that's kind of fun.